Good afternoon. My name is Brian Rubright, and I will be your host for this graduation. Welcome to the Western Michigan University Thomas M. Cooley Law School graduation ceremony for the Thomas E. Brennan and Davis Joshua Brewer classes. Today we will graduate our Juris Doctorate candidates. The Assembly is requested to stand while the invocation is pronounced by Professor Regalia DeBose. Please remain standing after the invocation for the national anthem.
God in heaven, we're here to celebrate the graduation of future attorneys, a great achievement. We're grateful that they have chosen a career that involves upholding the United States Constitution. We're grateful that we live in a land where we can celebrate our differences and enjoy our freedoms based on the United States Constitution. Much like future lawyers in our midst here today, we reverence and thank the hundreds of thousands who are serving in our armed forces for the rights we often take for granted, especially those who have and will give the ultimate sacrifice. We reverence and thank those who continue to sacrifice by serving in our military, both here and abroad. We recognize that whether we are students, professors, administrators, staff, board members, graduates, alumni, or friends, we are all teachers and learners. May we all set an example by extending kindness, acceptance, and consideration to one another. And may we always demonstrate civility toward all mankind as we walk this road of life together. May we practice the noble art of learning to disagree without being disagreeable. Help us to remember that people need attorneys to survive very difficult times in their lives. May we apply our knowledge to advocate for our clients and bring peace to them and their communities throughout the United States. May we uphold the ethics in our state's oath of admission to the legal profession so that we will be available to serve our communities and enhance the legal profession throughout the United States of America. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Please join us in the singing of our national anthem. Please be seated. Today we will have two valedictory speakers. The first valedictory, representing the Brennan class, is Shayna Mitchell, who was selected by the Thomas E. Brennan class to present this class's farewell comments.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shayna Mitchell, and I'm honored to be the valedictorian speaker for the Thomas Brennan class. I think I can speak for all of the graduates in saying that we're overwhelmed with excitement that all of our hard work over the past 3 years has finally led us to this day. And we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. Thank you to our family and friends. You all were our support system through the challenging times in our life. Specifically, thank you to our parents. You made so many sacrifices. And I hope we made you proud. Thank you to our spouses and our partners who stuck by our side, even when arguments turned into depositions. Thank you for believing in our dreams. Thank you to the faculty and staff who shaped our law school experience. And thank you to my classmates. We became a tribe over the past 3 years. We were in the trenches together. With all of the case books we read, I'm pretty sure we all lost our social lives and our good eyesight together. But now we get to change the world together. And when I look at the faces of my classmates, I see so many different stories and different backgrounds that led us here. But despite our differences, I also see characteristics that bring us together: bravery, resilience, and compassion. Before law school, we were brave. It takes so much courage to even apply. We spent hours studying for the LSAT, working on our applications, going to open houses to see if this was even a possibility. Less than 1% of the population has a law degree, and that's because taking a risk is not an easy thing to do. The instinct for self-preservation draws us to the safe, risk-free course, and we were brave enough to resist that urge. We put our lives on hold and dove face first into the unknown. All we knew is that it was going to be scary, expensive, a lot of work, but we also knew that it would be worth it. And you won't fulfill your life's purpose by staying in your comfort zone. So continue to be brave, to be bold, and take the risk. Now, during law school, we were resilient. Cooley brings together everyone from the 20-year-old fresh out of undergrad to the working professional who wants to change their career later in life. There were nurses, law enforcement, lawmakers, military, single parents, and we did whatever it took to change our lives. We went to school part-time or full-time, weekends, evenings, whatever it took. And we survived a pandemic. We navigated this new world of online learning. Some of my classmates had to move across the country. Some had to take care of sick family members. Others lost their job. But through it all, we persevered. We're a class that does not make excuses. And now that we're through it, and we're about to head out into our careers, we will be compassionate. We're about to get degrees that say Juris Doctor. But with that comes many other roles. We'll be problem solvers, negotiators, activists, peacemakers and fighters. We'll be advocates. And through it all, I hope that we stay compassionate. Remember that you're not any better than your client. We were afforded a privilege that most people will never get. Don't be afraid to speak up against the inequities of the world. Superlatives alone will not sustain you. If you narrow your focus on being the best, or the most, or the first, you'll never shake that feeling that somebody else could have done it better than you. Accomplishments are not as good as kindness. Graduating with a law degree means people will give us this terrifying amount of power. And I hope we use that power as an opportunity to be a positive force in the world. They told me not to do this. Dean Timmer and Dean Z said, stick to what you're good at. If you're not funny, the graduation speech is not a time to be funny. But like I said, step out of your comfort zone. So I'd like to take a moment to give a few specific shout outs to professors who shaped our experience. Professor Fisher, she gave us an intro to law and taught us that important lesson that the answer to every legal question is, it depends. Thank you to Professor Kalinowski. She taught us how to research and how to write, how to advocate. She coached moot court and gave the argumentative students their time to shine. Judge Sabella, Judge Nick, and Professor Church, you gave us the opportunity for real-life courtroom experience. May we have a little less imposter syndrome because of you. Professor Swartz taught us criminal procedure and what not to say to police officers. And Professor Amin, in your DUI class, I remember the first day you told us what we needed to know, really great advice to pass the bar, what it would be like to work in private practice. And then you answered that profound legal question, to blow or not to blow? Always, it depends. Dean Matthews, I took you for Wills, and you had the patience of a saint trying to teach law school students math. And I saved the best for last, Professor DuBose. I don't know if you remember, but 1L, second semester, you kicked me out of class for being 2 minutes late. And then you, along with teaching me the important lesson of being on time, you met with me in your office when I was in tears, struggling to get through law school as a single mom. And you reminded me that the work we do now leaves a legacy for our family. And life is about balance. We can go to the Bucks games, but we need to take our note cards and study. We have to strive for excellence, but enjoy life along the way. So to conclude, commencement is a Latin word meaning beginning. Although this is the end of our law school journey, it's just the beginning of what's to come. So like the founder of our school, Thomas Brennan, remember to be brave, be resilient, and be compassionate. Congratulations, class of 2022. We did it.
Next, we have Alberto Tito Gonzalez, who was selected by the Brewer class to present this class's farewell comments.
I gotta say, it's a hard act to follow Miss Florida, so I'm gonna try my best. So let me say this, isn't it amazing to truly be here with a stage to walk across? Actually standing in front of our friends, our families, our fellow classmates, our professors, instead of being online. And for those of you joining us on the live stream, I am just really hoping that the camera is not adding 10 pounds. I already have plenty, and I want to make sure people recognize me in person. By the way, yes, I am a lot taller than most people think, and so is Professor Hicks, for those of you who don't know. When I saw Professor Hicks for the first time on campus, I didn't recognize him, because on camera he looked a lot shorter and portlier. So, Professor, you might want to work on the camera angles a little bit. And when finals are done, I'll help you with the Instagram and TikToks. We'll, clear it up there. So we all had to do what no other law students before us had done. We had to navigate the difficult waters of transitioning from in-person to online with no guides. We had to blaze a trail while undertaking one of the most challenging ordeals of our lives. Some of us had to start our journey on a screen. We lost out on those days of struggling in the library with our fellow students like comrades in arms as we battled through the crucible of learning how to be lawyers. And yet here we are in this room. Even in the face of COVID, we still found those lifelong friends. We found our tribe, our ride or dies, our fam, insert the TikTok version of saying the same thing here. The point is, we found our friends, and we found them across multiple generations, from 8 tracks to cassettes to CDs to Apple Music and Spotify. We brought all our music together and we became an orchestra. And one of the greatest gifts that Cooley has given us is so much variety in our classrooms. That diversity among us that has enriched us and enriched our experience, and it will make us better lawyers. It's because we were given the opportunity and the flexibility we needed to reach this pinnacle. Whether we finished in 2 or 5 years, I can think of no other law school that has that gift of flexibility that allows people from every walk of life to attend law school. So to Cooley, I want to say thank you. You've all worked so hard to help us get to this point. The custodians who have constantly been cleaning the classrooms after we leave because of COVID, so that we can stay safe and healthy when it was time to come back to campus. To the campus directors and ESS, who are always working miracles on our behalf. The security guards who are waiting there every day to let us in, sometimes with a smiling face, sometimes they need their coffee. And the professors who work tirelessly to challenge us and teach us. From Professor Dubosa's wrap-ups, to Professor Neville Ewell's exhibits, to Professor Beery's videos, featuring Lainey the Calm Law Dog, and so many other resources that they use. They tried every way that they could think of to help us understand. And for many of us, they were priceless lessons. To the administration, you've had to make really, truly difficult decisions in this time. And let me speak for the David Joshua Brewer class when I say that it has not gone unnoticed. We are truly appreciative of every sacrifice that has been made on our behalf. To the families and friends who are in the audience and watching through the live stream, thank you for understanding our struggles. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for the large and the small things that you have done to help us get here. You've seen us at our worst, built us up when we were feeling weak, celebrated us when we found success, and carried the load when we had to focus on homework, case briefs, and the occasional mental breakdown. Thank you, and know that we love you and are so happy you can celebrate this momentous occasion with us. And now to my fellow students, whether it's taking a bar exam or using your JDs to move forward in your careers, all of us face a long and difficult path. There will be days when we want to quit, days when we think, is this all worth it? Why did I sign up for this? How am I ever going to make it through? Why am I such a masochist? And in these moments, I only ask that you take a deep breath and think back. We have done what very few others can do. We made it here to this moment, to this triumph. We are victorious today. And if we can do this, there's nothing that we cannot handle. Because we are Cooley grads. We can handle anything that this world has to throw at us. So let's go out there and show the world what a Cooley grad is made out of. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present to you the President and Dean of Western Michigan University Thomas M. Cooley Law School, James McGrath, who will provide opening remarks and introduce the commencement speaker.
Thank you. So it's the tradition of Western Michigan University Thomas M. Cooley Law School to name each entering class after a former justice of the Michigan Supreme Court or the United States Supreme Court. Today we have 2 graduating classes in honor of Thomas E. Brennan and David Joshua Brewer. Now there's a lot written about these jurists, but let me briefly introduce you to them. David Joshua Brewer was born in 1837. He was an American jurist who served as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States from 1890 to 1910. He was an appointee of President Benjamin Harrison. He supported states' rights. He opposed broad interpretations of Congress's power to regulate interstate commerce. And he attended Wesleyan University, Yale University, and Albany Law School. After law school, he headed west and settled in Leavenworth, Kansas, where he practiced law. He was elected to the Kansas Supreme Court, where he served for 14 years. It was then that President Benjamin Harrison nominated him as a justice on the Supreme Court of the United States, where he remained until his death in 1910. Now, it's the Thomas M. Cooley Law School, and this is a very special class because it's named after our founder. Justice Thomas E. Brennan Sr. was the founder and original president of Thomas M. Cooley Law School. He served in that position twice, originally for 2.5 years when the law school first started, and then for 23 years, ending in January of 2002. His career on the Michigan Supreme Court began in 1966 when he was elected as an associate justice on the court. In 1969 to 1970, he served as the court's chief justice, the youngest justice to hold that position. While he was serving on the bench, Judge Brennan received numerous requests for law school recommendations, which inspired his vision for a new, nonprofit law school in Lansing, Michigan. He noted that many qualified students were refused law school admission, and so he was determined to eradicate academic elitism and make legal education accessible to all capable students. Brennan incorporated Thomas M. Cooley Law School in 1972 with the belief that an educated citizenry that understands the law is critical to the strength and progress of the nation. We carry on his work of access to a legal education and recently updated our mission statement to double down on the beliefs that he put into action. That was 50 years ago, and it's not hyperbole to say that we would not all be here today if it was not for Judge Brennan's vision and unrelenting follow-through on that vision. At both Cooley campuses, we recently celebrated the 50th anniversary of the chartering of the school, and we are looking forward to many future milestones to continue celebrating his legacy. I'd like to also honor another Brennan, someone a little bit behind the scenes, Mrs. Pauline Brennan, more affectionately known as Polly Brennan. I want to thank her for her dedication, sacrifice, devotion, and encouragement over countless years to make sure Thomas M. Cooley Law School would be celebrating this important moment today. For those who do not know, Mrs. Brennan was the first employee of the law school. She served as an admissions director, registrar, administrative assistant, facilities director, among other roles, as she and her late husband, the Honorable Tom Brennan, worked to launch the Thomas M. Cooley Law School in 1972. As it was described by the Lansing State Journal at the time, the law school was a mom-and-pop operation. According to Judge Brennan's account, when he wrote Starting a Law School on the occasion of the law school's 35th anniversary, he wrote, "Having given the project her approval, Polly dug in enthusiastically. She accepted the assignment of staffing the office, which was a barren space on the second floor of a brick building at 507 South Grand Avenue. She was alone in the unfinished, nearly empty 5,000 square foot space with nothing other than a card table and a telephone. She busied herself sending out application forms to the 300 or so prospects who had expressed interest in attending law school. And now, 50 years later, thanks to the persistence and hard work and determination of both Brennans, our students, faculty and staff, and alumni, we now have the luxury of working and studying in some of the finest legal education facilities in the country. I hope you'll join me in expressing a heartfelt gratitude to Mrs. Polly Brennan. So, two very important Brennans in our history, but I'd like to welcome another member of the Brennan family on this special 50th year graduation, Mary Beth Brennan, the daughter of our founder. Would you mind coming up and saying a few words? Thank you so much. And while she walks her way over here, I'd like to point out her husband is also here, Professor James Hicks. You want to stand up and show them how tall you are? Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you. I haven't heard anybody call me Mary Beth Brennan in over 35 years, so that was kind of fun. First, I want to say to Kimberly and Alberto, you two represent everything that made my father soar. So thank you. It's an honor to be invited here today to help celebrate the Thomas E. Brennan class. But first, on behalf of my mother, Polly Brennan, as well as my 5 brothers and sisters, and our entire family, which you now know includes Professor Hicks, I want to express our gratitude to President McGrath for all you're doing to lead this institution. You are exactly the kind of person we need at the helm, and we're so appreciative of the job you're doing to make my father's legacy all that it can and should be. When my father founded Cooley Law School, not only did he implement the necessary structures to deliver a quality legal education, but he also spent a lot of time with my mother imagining and creating elements of culture and tradition that make this school unique. So for example, you wear blue because that's my mom's favorite color. Some of those traditions were born of practicality. For example, with 3 separate classes entering every year, you couldn't simply identify them by the year in which they would graduate, and so he decided to name every class after a member of the court. A Cooley tradition that would both clarify which class you belong to, but also help you connect in a personal way to the history of your profession. It is poignant for us, Tom Brennan's family, that his class is graduating in the school's 50th year, and so we want to say congratulations to the Brennan class in particular, and thank you for representing him so well. My father started this law school when I was 12 years old, so giving my age away here. I grew up in a household in which it was normal to have dinner table conversations that assumed I would understand concepts like, what is a tort? And so, although I'm not a lawyer, I always thought I understood what it takes to become one. But then the pandemic came along, and with it, remote learning, and I had the unanticipated opportunity to survey my husband's courses, Business Organizations 1 and 2, as well as Civil Procedure 1 and 2, and from the comfort of my own living room. Which begs the question, if I were to file a claim against Professor Hicks for compelling me to learn the rules of civil procedure without my express consent, would my case rely on personal jurisdiction or subject matter jurisdiction? I have no idea. But you all do. You, Brennan and Brewer class members, chose to pursue your dream of studying the law, displaying the effort, commitment, and determination to earn your degrees. And today, you enjoy the privilege of celebrating that great achievement. On behalf of my mother, Polly, my siblings, and my entire family, thank you for entrusting your dream to the institution that began as my father's dream. The entire Brennan family wishes you every success in the years to come in your career, and good luck on the bar, and know that we are all rooting for you.
So let me offer a big hearty welcome to everyone. I usually start out with that. I would like to give a special thanks to our amazing staff, many of whom are working behind the scenes today, our wonderful faculty, many of whom are here today, and of course, the reason we're all here today, the members of the graduating classes from the Thomas E. Brennan and the David Joshua Brewer class of 2022. They deserve all the applause we can give them. And thank you to the family and friends of our graduates. Whatever you did, as a family member, a friend, to support our graduates get to this day today, thank you so much. Maybe your support was emotional, maybe you helped them learn, maybe by running flashcards with them, maybe even helping out financially, whatever it took. I know you were there for our grads. And I'd like to say thank you, and I'd like to say it's over. All your hard work is over. But I can't say that yet, because there's one more thing we got to do, and that's the bar exam. So to family and friends, bear with us for one more big effort, and enjoy this special day. December 15th, 2022. Wow. It's a day with very special significance. Today is National Lemon Cupcake Day. I was looking for something really important, and buried under all of these silly things, including National Wear Your Pearls Today, some of you I see got the memo, but there's a really important one as well, and it's National Bill of Rights Day. Yeah. On December 15th, 1791, Virginia ratified the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. With this, the amendments reached the requisite number of state ratifications necessary to become part of our Constitution. These first 10 amendments are known as the Bill of Rights, and they outline the rights of our citizens. They guarantee that citizens have the rights and liberties such as freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and religion. They establish rules for the due process of law, and they confirm that citizens have rights beyond those spelled out in the Constitution. I know our country is really divided along many lines these days, but I hope we can all agree that we should treasure the Bill of Rights and agree to basic human rights for everyone. And I hope our graduates are going to look back fondly on December 15th as a very special day. And maybe a good day each year to reach out to maybe someone you've lost touch with in your graduating class. I know some of you have, as your speakers had mentioned, have formed lifetime bonds. And so if you've lost touch with someone, maybe December 15th, reach out and contact someone who you shared this amazing experience with. All of our JD grads today are about to become lawyers. They will have earned special powers and commensurate responsibilities to serve. And it's an awesome privilege to be a member of this noble profession, particularly during these times of uncertainty. We're still in a period of great change as we decide what the world is going to look like post-COVID, if we are ever going to be truly post-COVID. And you could look at this time as a time of confusion or concern, or you can look at it as a time of incredible opportunity, a chance to make meaningful changes that our world really needs. And I can't tell you what to do to be part of that positive change, because we all must find our own path that best suits our own journey. I can only hope that we can respect and encourage each other as we work to positively shape the future. As we face new crises, and there always will be new challenges, we have an opportunity to learn from the past. We can fix what needs repair and build a shared understanding of equality, justice, and inclusion in the new era that we can create. Graduates, the world needs you, and I know you are ready to lead. Well, you're going to be a much more effective agent of change with your Juris Doctor degree, so I should probably get these things moving here. Sorry, I said stop talking for a minute. But before we get to our keynote speaker, I just want to shout out a few quick thank yous. First of all, to Brian Rubright, our Master of Ceremonies, doing a terrific job, please. And of course, to Professor Renelia DeBrose for her uplifting and inclusive invocation. Thank you so much. And of course, to Kimberly Shana Mitchell for her incredible farewell address. And let's not forget Alberto Tito Gonzalez for his incredible address as well. Thank you so much, Stephen. And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker and also a board member and beloved professor, Mustafa Amin. He's a graduate of the WMU Cooley Law School, where he graduated in the top 5% of his class. After graduating, he began his career at the State Attorney's Office. During his time as an assistant state attorney, he tried over 100 cases, handled hundreds of motion hearings, and prosecuted over 3,000 cases. In 2008, he left the state's attorney office and founded his law firm specializing in criminal defense and auto accidents. Over the last 15 years, he has built the firm to include 3 associate attorneys and has hired numerous Cooley interns. Throughout his career, he has helped thousands of clients navigate the legal system. In addition to his law practice, he currently serves on the board of directors of the law school and has been an adjunct professor at WM Cooley for the last 10 years, where he's helped hundreds of students fulfill their dreams of being successful attorneys. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome board member and Professor Mustafa Amin.
You've read thousands of cases. You spent hundreds of hours studying and in class. You've completed 90 credits over the last 3 years. All this for 1 degree. Law school was hard, wasn't it? Luckily, being a lawyer is easy. It's like riding a bike, except the bike is on fire. You're on fire. Everything's on fire. You've got a little water gun to put out all these fires. Graduates, if you thought law school was hard, wait till you start practicing law. Our profession requires long hours, hard work. It's difficult, it's stressful, but it is so rewarding at the end of the day. I want you to think back to when you were considering becoming a lawyer. What a lot of us did was we go to attorneys and we ask them for advice on what it's like to be a lawyer, whether we should do it. And what happened was they all said what? Don't do it, right? They said it's hard, it's long, it's expensive. They said just don't do it. And guess what? I actually tell people the same thing. Don't do it. But for some reason, you ignored this advice. You said, my reason to go to law school, to put myself through these 3 difficult years of school, to join this select profession, that reason is more important than the difficulties I will face. That reason is something you need to remember when times get difficult, and I guarantee you they will. You're going to have clients that are yelling at you. You're going to get judges that yell at you. Not these two. You're going to come home and your families are going to yell at you. But if you have that reason to go back, you're going to continue to go back every single day and practice. We all have different reasons why we decided to go to law school. For some of you, it's you're the first one in your family to go to college, let alone law school. For you, you're creating legacy for your children and your grandchildren to look up to you to say, if they did it, I can do it. One of the most important factors on whether your children go to college is if you went to college. The same with law school. So you're creating this legacy for them, and that's a great reason. Another common reason is that you personally or a family member went through a legal ordeal, whether it was a divorce, child custody battle, an immigration proceeding, a criminal charge. And that experience told you that you can do this, that you can help people get through this because of your experience. And you said you want to become a lawyer to help these people. I have to admit something. My reason was not to help people and change the world. I was a finance major. I was looking to try to make money. And that's okay if you're looking at it from a financial perspective early on. But eventually that reason has to change because it's not long lasting. You're going to find another reason, and I have found another reason. For the most part, I handle criminal defense cases. I represent people charged with doing some pretty bad things, and my mom hates it. She always asks me, how can you represent this person when you know they committed the crime? And it's a difficult thing to do. I've tried to explain it to her, but she just doesn't understand it. But that all changed when she met one of my clients. About 10 years ago, I represented a guy named Alan. Alan was born in Plant City, raised in Plant City. He works in Plant City. Alan's not very educated. He owns a little fruit stand on a dusty old road out there in Plant City. And Alan liked to drink a lot. So when he came to me, he was on his 3rd DUI. He wasn't looking good. He didn't do well on the field sobriety exercises. He blew well over the legal limit. His case seemed impossible to win. But he swore to me on that day that he will never drink again. And obviously, I didn't believe a word he said. But I did my job. I got paid. I eventually resolved his case. So my mom happened to be in Plant City one day, and I told her to go see Alan at his fruit stand and get some fruit from him. So she went there. She came home. She called me out and told me to help her get the fruit out of the car. So I'm expecting a couple of packages of Plant City strawberries. I open the trunk, and the trunk is full of fruit. The back seat's full of fruit, and there's 4 watermelons in the passenger seat. So I was like, did you buy all this? And she said, no, he just gave it to me. I was like, what happened? She said, you tell me what happened. What did you do for him? He said that you changed his life and he stopped drinking. I wasn't expecting that. And let me tell you what I did for Alan. I used fruit to help him. Not that kind of fruit. Fruit that we were taught about in law school. Fruit of the poisonous tree. I filed a motion to suppress to say that the officer involved violated his constitutional right. And the judge actually, for once, agreed with me. And his case was dismissed. That changed his life. So my reason over the years has changed to truly helping people at the worst times of their lives. And you're going to be doing this as well. You're not only going to be their attorney, you're going to be their counselor, you're going to be their AA coach, their psychiatrist, you're going to become their friend. Now, these skills that I have, where did I learn this? I learned this at Cooley, sitting where you sat. Education at Cooley is second to none. The professors in front of you that have been in front of you for the last 3 years are some of the best in the country. And I can say this because some of them were my professors. Professor Beery is one of the best professors at constitutional law in the country. Professor Matthews taught me BizOrgs. He's one of the best at BizOrgs, wills, estates, trusts, tax. That was almost 20 years ago when I was sitting in their classroom. I know what you're thinking. Yes, they are that old. Now, remember that bike that was on fire? Everything's on fire. But you don't have a little water gun to put it out. You got a super soaker. You got a water cannon. That's the knowledge and skills that you were taught over the last 3 years. And you were given the ability to fight for your clients. Cooley grads don't work for big law. We don't represent big corporations. We represent individuals. We are for the people. We defend their constitutional rights when they're arrested. We fight against the government when they're coming to take children away from families in family law court. When the government is separating children and families at the border, that's what we do. We fight for the individual. And I learned that at Cooley. You have these same skills and ability to do great things and change people's lives. Not only do you have these skills, but you also have the backing of our massive alumni base. Practicing in every state in the country, foreign countries. 60% are women, 40% are people of color, 70 are enrolled part-time managing families and law practices. So when you reach out to our alumni base, you'll have someone in the same situation that you're in. So reach out to us for help, because we've gone through those struggles that you're going to go through. Whether it's a legal, ethical, or even a personal issue that you're having. We're not only here to help through the legal process, but for the bar as well. Let's talk about the bar. It's actually not that hard. There's no concept in law school that we couldn't understand. We understand assault, battery, negligence. We understand all of this. Maybe not rule against perpetuities. But let me tell you a secret about that. It's not a real thing. It's made up by law professors to torture students. So when you get to that question on the bar exam, circle C and move on. So when I say the bar exam is not hard, it's not hard, it's a lot. There's a lot. Thousands of laws that you need to know. So make sure you give it your all. Treat it like a job, 9 to 5 every single day. Take time off from work to study. Get through all your practice material, and if you do this, you're going to pass. Now, looking forward to those days when you're practicing, when nothing seems to be going right. Remember that reason that you decided to put yourself through law school, because that's what's going to help you get through the day. You've chosen an incredible profession, one that can actually change people's lives like Alan's did. Do it with integrity and success will come. Graduates, I wish you success on the journey you're about to start. Congratulations, and I'll see you in court.
It is now my privilege to introduce Assistant Dean of the Tampa Bay campus, Catherine Gustafson, who will present the candidates for graduation.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments, the members of the graduating classes will be receiving their degrees. This is an important and solemn occasion, and we request that all persons in the assembly remain in their seats during the ceremony until all of the degrees have been conferred. We have a professional photographer who will be taking pictures of the graduates as they receive their diplomas from President McGrath. Each graduate will receive a complimentary 5x7 copy of his or her photo. Thank you for your cooperation. The faculty of the Western Michigan University Cooley Law School has established criteria for the courses of instruction, the standards of achievement, the period of residence necessary to ensure professional proficiency and practical scholarship in the law, and has also established the requirements for the degrees Juris Doctor and Master of Law. The board has been advised that at the end of Trinity Term 2022, 21 Juris Doctor students of the class known as the Brennan class were examined and were found to have fulfilled all the requirements for those degrees. Additionally, the board has been advised that at the end of Michaelmas Term 2022, 22 Juris Doctorate students of the class known as the Brewer class were examined and were found to have fulfilled all the requirements for those degrees. Now, therefore, it is resolved that the degrees are conferred and that the candidates who are presented to the President and Dean of Western Michigan University Cooley Law School will receive the degree of Master of Laws or Juris Doctor at his hand. President McGrath, the faculty proudly presents the graduates of the Thomas E. Brennan class. The Juris Doctorate candidates are Cash Aaron Mazi, cum laude. Nicole R. Bonzik. Nicole Carnero, magna cum laude. Stephanie Wright DiDamasio Ray, cum laude. David Mark Freed, magna cum laude. Margaret W. Hassan, magna cum laude. I want to make sure you guys heard that magna cum laude part in there. Corey Hendricks Bell. Natasha D. Jackson. Annie Lucille Livingston, U.S. Army veteran. Shayna Mitchell, cum laude. Caitlin McGee Norris, cum laude. Hodan Saeed. Mohammed Sabri Sulhi-Un. Ariane Bertoli Starkey, cum laude. Cindy Pramila Upgraf. Nina Yakubov, summa cum laude. Now, President McGrath, the faculty proudly presents the graduates of the Davis Joshua Brewer class. The Juris Doctor candidates are John C. Bedell, U.S. Army, retired. Carol Angelica Bejo, cum laude. Daniel Warren Cardwell, magna cum laude. Ahmad T. Suzoko. Alberto Tito Gonzalez, cum laude. Nicholas G. Hardwick. Sonia Karen. Anna Megan King, cum laude. Brittany Marie Lindsay, magna cum laude. Elena Miles, cum laude. Martika Isabel Morihand, magna cum laude. Olivia May Olinger, cum laude. Natalia Pastva, cum laude. Elizabeth E. Rudd. Samantha Jean Sawyer. Melissa Cambus Sikora. Fawn Michelle Smith, cum laude. Ashlyn Spicer. Jennifer Toledo, cum laude. Brianna Ashley Texter, cum laude. Sean F. White, U.S. Army veteran. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduates of the Thomas E. Brennan and the Davis Joshua Brewer classes.
I know. Congratulations, graduates. President McGrath will now present the James E. Burns Memorial Award and the Stanley E. Betty Teaching Awards, along with his closing remarks.
Thank you very much. All right, the James E. Burns Memorial Award was established by associates and friends of James Burns in 1979. Mr. Burns was a fine lawyer, a respected member of the bar, and a dedicated friend of Western Michigan University Thomas M. Cooley Law School. The Memorial Award is given each semester to the graduating senior who leads the class in academic excellence. The winner in the Brennan class, graduating summa cum laude, is Nina Yakuboff. And they never saw her again.
Great job.
It's also my pleasure to present the Stanley E. Beatty Teaching Award. It was established in 1979 by the Board of Directors. The award is given to that member of the full-time faculty of the law school who, in the opinion of the graduating members of the class, this time the Thomas E. Brennan and the David Joshua Brewer class, has during the preceding 3 years made the greatest contribution to their legal education. This year, the winner for both classes is a faculty member here at the Tampa Bay campus. The winner for both the Thomas E. Brennan and David Joshua Brewer class is Professor Christine Church. So the award is huge. We're going to have it shipped down, but in the meantime, you can have a lemon cupcake because it's National Lemon Cupcake Day. Please say a few words.
I just want to say on behalf of all of the faculty, you are our legacy, and we are so proud of you, so proud of you. Thank you very much.
Oh, my goodness. So we're almost done here. Graduates, congratulations again on this very important, significant milestone in your life. And when things get tough, I'm going to ask you, like Professor Amin did, to remember why you went to law school in the first place. Most people come with a sense of purpose, whether it's to do well financially, to change the world, whatever that reason is, whatever passion brought you to law school. And I hope we haven't totally beat that passion out of you. Let that passion keep you going strong as you meet the demands of a career, in your career as a lawyer. And speaking of demands, for those of you who have not yet taken the bar exam, one thing I want you to remember is how important your mindset is while you're preparing for the bar. I love what Professor Mustafa Amin said to you. He said, treat it like a job, a 9-to-5 job. Your mindset is so important. Now, you could say to yourself, oh, I just graduated law school, and now I have to take the bar exam. Or you could say, I just graduated law school, and now I get to take the bar exam. Yeah. It is truly, truly a great privilege. Not everyone graduates college, but you all did, right? Not everyone gets into law school, but you did. And not everyone gets out with a diploma, but you did. So now you get to sit for the bar exam. And so that's a great privilege few people have earned. So get out there and make us proud. Mr. Rubright, sorry, I promised I wouldn't say it wrong, but I did. Mr. Rubright, please take us home. Thank you, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the commencement ceremony for the Thomas E. Brennan and the Davis Joshua Brewer classes. We ask that all guests remain seated until the members of the academic procession depart. Thanks for coming.